The previous class we learned about the bacterial type of conjunctival infections. Now we're learning about chlamydial type of conjunctival infection. Right? So chlamydia is a midway between bacteria and virus. So why we are calling it is as it is rejuvenating as a bacteria it is rejuvenating and multiplying like a bacteria, and it is responding to antibiotics, but it is containing only RNA. So there is a reason it is called as midway between both the things. So what are the main things we see in a chlamydial type of infection? So first we need to learn what is the pathology involved in chlamydial type of infection. Then it will be easier for us for all the different types of infection. So in chlamydia is an infection where the organism enters the body through epithelium, right? So no damaged epithelium is needed here, unlike other bacteria. Here only the chlamydia will come in contact with the epithelium, and then it will pierce the epithelium and enter into the epithelium. Once it enters, it occupies a single cell. Then it will make it as the initial body, right? So that single cell will be called as the initial body, and the surrounding cells will be a little. Uh, what do you say? The surrounding cells will be a little more cooperative, more fluffy or enlarged, swollen. So after that, after a few days, what happens is this initial cell will be surrounded with lymphocyte cells, and then so on, and then finally this initial cell will burst out, right? After the reproduction of this chlamydia, the initial cell will burst out, and the coming structures, which are the bodies, which are the spores-like things, which come out of this initial body, will spread to the surrounding tissue subepithelially, and then new initial bodies will be developed. So this is the structure. So this is the basic pathology of chlamydia. So what you see, what you examine in case of any chlamydial infection is multiple small nodule-like structures, right? Multiple small swellings or small nodules-like structures, which are soft, not hard, right? So how will you see them? And what are the different things you see in case of chlamydial infections? So as you see here, this is a typical example of a chlamydial conjunctivitis, right? So there are three types of chlamydial infections we talk about regular, right? One is the trachoma, right? So what is a trachoma? Trachoma is nothing but an conjunctival inflammation due to an chlamydia, where the superficial epithelium is involved, right? So what is this, so if you see here, the superficial epithelium of the lower lid is involved here, right? Trachoma usually involves any type of lid, upper lid or the lower lid. But in case of trachoma, usually it is the upper lid only, right? So this is the typical example of trachoma we see. So if you see these swellings or nodules which are present here and there, these are nothing but the trachomatous lesions, right? And they, so as you know, the causal organism is Chlamydia trachomatis, mm, and it is a group belonging to the Cetacopsis family and all. So let it be. But what we need to know is there are different types of serotypes in chlamydial infections. Around 11 types of serotypes will be present, and the A, B, C, and E. Sorry, A, B, C. So okay, A, B, and D, A, and B, C. There will be there three types of three to four types. The first three types of the serotypes of the 11 serotypes is the uh, trachoma, normal trachoma, right? And the remaining are called as if the remaining serotypes are involved, then it is called as um, inclusive conjunctivitis. The second type of chlamydial infection. First type is the trachoma. Second type is the inclusive conjunctivitis. Right? We'll talk about that. So, what are the predisposing factors or the causative factors for this chlamydial infection? Is usually the chlamydial infection is hand-borne from while improper handling of these eyelids, or unhygienic conditions, or poor economic state, or sometimes there may be crowding in crowding places, or sometimes common towels and common kerchiefs. So these are the conditions which are able to transfer or which are able to spread the infection, right? So infection will be spread by clothings, common cloths or common kerchiefs and common towels, or by hands, fingers, right? Or sometimes direct spread, right? So what are the different clinical features you see in the in case of chlamydial infection is, as you see here, the eyelid becomes swollen, the eyelid become red, and there are multiple small swellings, right? So these are the main things, clinical features you see. So what are the, we can broadly classify them into different types, right? So the symptoms will be like multiple foreign bodies under the eyelids, like sand under the eyelid or like something like that, right? And lacrimation will be present, which is not much severe or much mild. So a moderate amount of lacrimation will be present and which is not acrid. And sticking of the eyelids may be present, but it is very little. Mucus gland secretions will be there, but it is little, right? So if there is a secondary bacterial infection, then the mucus glands will be more, mucus secretion will be more and all, right? As of only chlamydial infection, there will not be any much severe symptom. The symptom will be sand-like appearance under the eyelids, that is foreign body appearance under the eyelids, and lacrimation will be present, and mild stickiness of the eyelids will be present, right? So the signs will be of the signs of this trachoma is divided into the conjunctival signs and corneal signs and also palpebral signs. Right? We'll see what are the different signs. Conjunctival signs, what you see is this chlamydial infection or the chlamydial follicles. So these small swellings will be called as follicles, right? So these follicles are present on the upper eyelid only, on the inner surface of the upper eyelid only, mostly in the tarsal conjunctival part only, right? So if it is present in the lower eyelid, then it is called as other type of follicular conjunctivitis, right? So this trachoma will be usually present on the upper part of the eyelid only. It may also enter into the cornix region, or sometimes it may also be entering the bulbar conjunctiva a little, not entirely of the bulbar conjunctiva, but it usually in the palpebral conjunctiva completely, right? So these follicles, if the microscopic examination of these follicles will lead to these cells are called as Laber cells, where there are a lot of what you say lymphoid cells surrounding lymphocyte cells surrounding these Laber cells, and these are just subepithelial cells. They are not present in the underlying structures. They are present subepithelial in the adenoid layer only, right? So there may be, these may be multiple. If there is starting, there will be one or two. Then progressively they become multiple in number, right? So like this, progressively after a long time, they become multiple, and the eyelid will be much swollen, right? So that is about the what you say as conjunctival signs, right? So the next signs will be the corneal signs. What happens to the cornea? The cornea is also infected in case of trachoma. The most important thing is the cornea and conjunctiva both are affected in case of trachoma, right? So in cornea there will be pannus formation will be there. So this is nothing but a pannus formation, right? So what is this pannus formation? This is nothing but protrusion of the blood vessels into the corneal region from the bulbar conjunctival region, right? So as you know, these blood vessels are not present in the corneal region in the normal eye. So this help in transparency of this cornea. But now what is happening? These blood vessels are pushing into the corneal region, and they are obstructing the transparency of this cornea. Right? This will lead to improper vision or haziness in the vision. Depends upon the severity, how much it is spread. right? So this is another type of pannus. So here you see the entire what is it, cornea is filled with this pannus. So the protrusion of this, see here, this is schematic representation. These are the follicles, right? These are the papillae, these are the follicles. So there is a lot of difference between the papillae and follicle, right? I'll explain you in the follicular conjunctivitis. So this is the pannus. This pannus is nothing but blood vessels coming onto the corneal region, right? So that is about the corneal signs. So after, this is a progressive stage. This is the, we can say it is called the second stage or the first stage, right? This is also a type of pannus. You can see the upper. So in case of trachoma, only the upper part will be having the pannus. The lower part may not have, or a little part may have. In case of trachoma, while classifying as trachoma, right? The second thing, and the next stage of trachoma is called as cicatrization stage. So what is cicatrization stage? Scarring stage. So as you observe here, the follicles and this papillae are disappeared, and only you see scarrings, white scarrings, and thickened epithelium is present here. So this is the stage of scarring type of scarring stage of trachoma. So it looks hard, and what you say, the mucus glands here will not be responding much. A little mucus glands will be obstructed in the region of scarring region, and the remaining mucus glands will be functioning good, right? Then corneal signs, after the cornea is what you say, healing, what happens is it leads to, let me show you, corneal opacities. So see this. If you see this picture, this is a illumination of this cornea with a blue light. So if you see, there are multiple small spots here and there. So this can be examined with the slit lamp here. So this is an examination of the slit lamp of the eye of the cornea. Here you see there are multiple bright objects. So these are nothing but the cornea is being affected. The cornea is become ulcerated or affected. So this type of keratitis is called as punctate keratitis, right? Punctate keratitis, right? So the next things, next signs you see are, I'll show you. After this scarring and cicatrization stage, next things we see are the uh, what do you say, trichiasis stage. So trichiasis means a stage where the eyelids are become thick. The eyelids become very thick, and uh, the, the eyelashes will be turning inwards, which is called as entropia, right? The eyelashes will be turning inwards, and the eyelids are become thick, and there will be excess lacrimation seen. So these are the symptoms of trichiasis stage. So trachea means lashes, eyelashes. Trichiasis stage means involving the eyelashes, right? And lacrimal apparatus for after continuous secretion of lacrimation may lead to dacryocystitis sometimes also. Dacryocystitis may also be present sometimes, right? So staging. So this trachoma is staged into different categories, right? As now I told you the different stages. I'll show you the stages picture also. So McKellen has classified the different stages of trachoma into different the stages of trachoma into different categories. See here. So this is the initial stage. This is the second stage. This is the cicatrization stage. This is the pannus stage, and this is the corneal opacity stage, right? So these are the 5 stages McCallum has classified. This can be as 4 also. So this first one, this last two can be mixed up as a complication stage. And this is the initial stage. This is the progressive stage. This is the scarring stage. So these are the basic stages, basic classification of the stages. These cannot be clear-cutly defined. These stages cannot be clear-cutly identified. One stage will be overlapping to the other stage usually. But WHO has classified them into WHO has also classified them into different stages. Trachoma. Yes. So they are the TF stage, that is trachomatous inflammatory follicular stage. That is the first stage. Right? Then TI stage, that is trachomatous inflammation intense. That is this is the Meckel's second stage, intense stage, where there are a lot of follicles are present and more redness is present. Lacrimation is much, and pain and burning sensation or sand-like appearance is much. Then is called the TS, that is trachomatous scarring stage. Then it is called as TT stage, that is trachomatous trichiasis stage. And the last stage is called as corneal opacity stage or CO stage. Right? So these are the different stages of trachomatous. So, so the complications of trachomatosis are trachoma infection are what is happening. The eyelids are becoming thick. The eyelashes may fall away. There may be swellings in these permanent discoloration and scarrings will be present on the palpebral conjunctiva, right? And corneal opacity is the most common and most important complication, right? So these punctate keratitis may, after some time, after a repeated infection, may lead to corneal opacity. Larger corneal opacities will lead to blindness, right? And also the pannus formation, as you saw, the pannus is also obstructing the cornea, so it also leads to corneal opacities also. And this corneal opacity will lead to blindness or haziness in the vision, right? So the next type of conjunctivitis we see are adult inclusive type of conjunctivitis. So what is the difference between a trachoma or adult inclusive type of conjunctivitis? So inclusive type of conjunctivitis is a type of trachoma where you see the the trachomatous lesions or the swelling of the eyelids or the swelling of the conjunctiva and edema of the conjunctiva are all present in the inner canthal region. Inner canthal region, not on the upper part of the eyelid. If it is present in the inner canthal region, it is an adult type of conjunctivitis. So, adult type of trachoma. It is also called as adult inclusive uh, conjunctivitis. Adult inclusive conjunctivitis. And the serotypes here are D to K. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Okay. So all these are so the source of infection will be the same. The infected person, the spreading of the eyelids, eye drops, or uh, small touchings of these eyelashes or something like that, they may be spreading, or common towels and kerchiefs is the most common thing, right? And incubation here period here is 4 to 12 days, right? So, so what you see here are these signs and symptoms here you see are the same as that of this trachoma only. So there will be swellings, there will be follicles, follicular swelling will be present. The pannus will be produced. So here the pannus is starting from the inner canthal region, right? Inner or outer canthal region, right? So then the next thing we see today is the viral conjunctivitis. So this is another example of adult chlamydial conjunctivitis or inclusive type of conjunctivitis. So the next thing we learn today is the viral conjunctivitis. So viral conjunctivitis is a next stage of after the chlamydial conjunctivitis, where the redness will be more, the lacrimation will be more, the fever will be more, and the secretions will be more. So more amount of fluid is coming out, more amount of redness is present, more burning and pain are present in case of viral conjunctivitis compared to bacterial and chlamydial conjunctivitis. So there are different types of viruses affecting the eye, like the adenovirus, herpes simplex virus, herpes zoster sometimes, myxovirus, and paramyxovirus is also present. So there may be different types of viruses. So the most common viruses are the adenovirus and the herpes virus. We'll talk about those two. So what you see in case of adenovirus conjunctivitis. So adenovirus conjunctivitis, you see, it is called as epidemic keratoconjunctivitis. Why it is called as keratoconjunctivitis? It is affecting conjunctiva along with this cornea. So both cornea and conjunctiva are affected at the same time. So it is called as keratoconjunctivitis. But in case of trachoma, first the conjunctiva is affected, then in a progressive stage, the cornea may be affected or not. But in case of keratoconjunctivitis, in case of virus, viral keratoconjunctivitis or adenovirus keratoconjunctivitis, both cornea and conjunctiva are affected at the same time usually, right? So what are the symptoms you see here is the sudden redness of eyes. Redness of the eyes will be sudden here in case of viral conjunctivitis, and excessive watering from the eyes will be present. And ocular discomfort and foreign body in the eye sensation will be present usually. And with this excessive lacrimation and excessive swelling of this conjunctiva, there may be photophobia, or the cornea also may be swollen and it leads to photophobia, right? So signs we see here are signs. So what are the signs we see? The conjunctival and the corneal signs, both the signs you'll see here. So conjunctiva, you see hyperemia, chemosis or the swelling or the edema of the conjunctiva. Then follicles may be present, but very little may be present, mm, and you can see as petechial conjunctival hemorrhages may also be seen. Petechial hemorrhages, small hemorrhages at different spots on the conjunctiva may be seen. But you see here, what you see here is both the palpebral conjunctiva and the bulbar conjunctiva are involved at the same time in case of viral conjunctiva. So that is the most important thing you need to know. And the corneal signs, what the corneal signs you see are the superficial punctate keratitis, as I already told you in the previous, in case of trachoma. Here also superficial punctate keratitis may be seen, right? And a systemic thing is the preauricular lymph nodes may be enlarged. Preauricular lymph nodes may be enlarged, right? So that is about adenovirus keratoconjunctivitis. And pharyngeal keratoconjunctivitis is another fever, is another type of virus where you see where it is also a type of adenovirus where it is affecting uh, both the pharynx and the eyelids at the same time, right? So it is affecting the pharynx and also the eyes at the same time. It is called as pharyngeal conjunctivitis. So the symptoms will be the same. The follicles may be present or may not be present in case of. The next thing we learn today is the acute herpetic conjunctivitis, right? So this is an example of keratoconjunctivitis where you see the redness of the eye is completely present. Complete eye is red and swollen. The cornea is also a little swollen. Puffiness of the cornea is present, and this is a systemic presentation. This is a clinical presentation of an keratoconjunctivitis. What you see here are the swollen eyelids, redness of the eye. The cornea is also swollen. There is excessive lacrimation, and mucus secretion or purulent discharge is also present. It is also matting the eyelashes, right? This is a typical presentation of keratoconjunctivitis. So these are the what you say, those superficial keratitis, or petechial keratitis, punctate keratitis. Sorry, punctate keratitis. So this is an herpetic eruption, acute herpetic eruption of the eyes, conjunctiva, acute herpetic follicular conjunctiva. So this what is present in case of herpes? Herpes, more pain will be present. A lot of pain will be present in case of herpes, right? It is more redness will be present. Sometimes hemorrhage may also be present, and the associated fever will be present. There will be a lot of lacrimation present. Corneal involvement will be little or sometimes rare, but usually herpes eruptions only affect the eyelids only, or the conjunctiva only, not the cornea. right? So the next type of infection you see is the uh, hemorrhagic conjunctivitis. So this is caused by an virus, hemorrhagic virus, right? Enterovirus, right? It is caused by an enterovirus. So what is happening here is after the infection, the blood vessels will be bursted and the hemorrhage will be spreading into the conjunctival region. So both the palpebral and the bulbar conjunctiva will be filled with blood. So this is nothing but hemorrhagic conjunctivitis, right? So it is a very rare type of thing. If it is affected, the incubation period will be 1 to 2 days only. So very fast, right? And it will this complication will lead to conjunctival obstruction. So the conjunctiva will be swollen and the hematoma of this hemorrhage will be formed and it leads to conjunctival erosion also, right? So those are the different types of conjunctival affections.